All right, you mob. Welcome back to the show. Not a not a script in sight tonight. We're going in blind. And after I said it on the last episode there, I'm proud of myself. I did it. We did not start the show with a big fat as much as I wanted to. No, and there's one right there. Welcome back to the party. No script tonight. We're this one's a little more off the cuff. We're going old school, honestly here. Oh fuck, that is definitely getting picked up by the mic. Sorry guys. Yeah, no script tonight. We're going off the cuff and gonna have a little mic handling noise here while I readjust this. Shock horror. Yeah, and we're just gonna kind of see what if I can even pull a full episode out of this. Good grief. Yeah, we're into the piss. Shock horror. Fucking hotel ice. So that was a big trauma dump yesterday, or the last episode. Whenever I decide to post this, that was a lot to just kind of lay down and lay out, and kind of just been ruminating on that all day. I've listened to the episode a few times now, and and you know what, guys, still sick, so prepare yourself for liberal use of the mute button. Yeah, so, today was kind of a fucking slow day, honestly, because I'm sick, Caillou's sick, the Devastator Jr. is sick. Everybody's kind of fucking sick right now, so it is not exactly peak performance over here. So Caillou and I were basically just fucking coma patients all day and did our best, but our best was not the greatest. So, and also, interesting little tidbit we discovered today. The Frenchman listens to the podcast, which is insane to me because this is a man who thinks most technology is witchcraft and magic. And the fact that he went out of his way, and by went out of his way, I mean his wife probably had to show him, but went out of his way to figure out how to find and download my podcast and listen to it. And he's a busy fucking guy, man. Like, he's got a lot going on. So that he took the time to figure out how to do all that and listen to my silly little show is fucking crazy to me. So, Frenchman, if you hear this episode, which I'm sure you will at some point, I'm guessing you're not like daily listening to my shit talking. Welcome to the party, baby. It's fucking crazy to me that you did that. You're a true friend, my guy. So, so yeah, that little fun intro aside, it was kind of a fucking, what is going on here? I'm hearing a little bit of noise in the mix. Is it the headphones? This is all the excuse I need to buy new headphones on Friday. Don't think that I fucking won't, because I will. Because I already am trying to decide, do I want to buy like a bunch of tertiary gear that isn't very like glamorous and exciting, but is much needed, like new boom arms and mic stands and headphones and stuff like that? Or do I, go for the glamour shot and buy a new mic? Because I kind of have my eye on the Logitech Blue Sona, the Shure MV7X, and if I'm being real honest, and my bank account's going to cry when I say this out loud, I am looking at the SM7B as well, because it is not as expensive as I thought it was here. I thought it was like a $700 mic here, but and I understand that this only is going to sound insane, but it's only like $550. And it's the fucking SM7B. Like, god damn. But at the same time, the sound guy was telling me a couple weeks ago, like, you can get damn close with the MV7, and I can save quite a bit of money because I don't need the USB and monitoring that the MV7 has. I can kind of just cheap out and get the MV7X because I really have no interest in owning a USB mic anymore. I have the NT USB Mini if I really need one, but like in a pinch, I still have the Focusrite. I'll just fucking plug that in and use the Samsung or the Audio Technica mics I have. if I'm in a bind and for whatever reason need audio on the computer. And even then, I have the Rodecaster. Why wouldn't I just fucking plug that in? So yeah, we're spending money before we've even received it. But this will be the last like grand check I get from working up here. So might as well enjoy it while I can because I'm taking a bunch of time off for Christmas and stuff. So yes, I think we are probably going to go with the less glamorous option because I do need a new boom. I don't need. I want a new boom arm, and I would really like a better like desk mic stand. Um, Maybe a little bit of a higher quality one because this one really struggles to have like the pod mic mounted to it and not fucking fall down. Which is like a weird problem that a lot of people probably don't have, but the pod mic is like such a heavy. It's like 2 pounds, so it really wants to tip this the stand over. And this one I have, honestly, I don't really love. It works great with the Lewitt, honestly, because it has this like third joint where you can kind of bring it closer to your face, which works great for the Lewitt because the Lewitt doesn't fucking weigh anything. But as soon as you put the pod mic on this thing, it falls down. And I don't really have anything out here to use as a counterweight. So, and then new headphones, like these Audio Technica ones are fine. They're not great. They're not bad. They were like middle of the road ones I got to just get off these shitty fucking Xbox ones I had way back when. But at this point, like we're so all in on road gear, like we might as well just get the NTH 100s. And honestly, Rode knows their fucking target audience because half the time I'm like, okay, well, is this the best option or do I just like it because it comes in pretty colors? And the answer is it comes in pretty colors. And like those headphones, you can get custom cables for the 3.5 millimeter cables, and they have the whole rainbow, and I want a blue one and I want a pink one to match this XLR cable I got, which is also a Rode cable. And I don't, without doing any research to kind of like figure out is this better or worse than anything out there, I was like, oh, it comes in pink, I have to have it even though it's $70. So yeah, my brain is not being a genius when it comes to a lot of this stuff, but you know, I'm a brand fanboy. I've been this way about everything for years. Like I'm an Xbox guy. I'm an ROG, like Asus guy when it comes to PC stuff and EVGA, even though they kind of have exited the market real dramatically. So yeah, like once I find a brand I like and stuff that's like reliable and I know it's going to work, and especially if it's part of a larger family of things like Rode is, I'm just going to stick with that system, and it is what it is. I have the Rodecaster Duo. I have the Rode Pod Mic. I have a Rode XLR cable. Like the Lewitt, I'm looking at an Rode condenser mic, like the NT1 Signature Series, which when are those getting released? Because I can't find them anywhere, and they're out of stock everywhere, and I want the fucking purple one. So, which is just a reason to buy another XLR cable. Let's be honest with ourselves, because can you have a purple mic without the purple cable? Come on. So yes, we are spending money we don't have, and the Frenchman, I can hear you shaking your head at me at my foolish financial decisions, but it brings me so much joy. So let me live, motherfucker. I didn't have any money for 10 years because I was supporting January's broke fucking ass. So let me live a little bit. Oh, we're fully losing our train of thought here. Goodbye. Yeah, so anyway, totally unrelated and back from the ADHD tangent. And you know what? Here we go. Let's go on another one. Why the fuck not? Like this could not have come at a worse time. This whatever with April and blah blah blah, because today I had to cancel my therapy membership because I have been paying $100 a week for the last 5 weeks. I have not been able to attend one fucking therapy session because the hotel Wi-Fi up here is just such hot trash. And while you can pause your membership, I did that, but I only did it for like 2 weeks because that was all I thought I was going to be up here for. And you cannot pause your shit again for 2 months after you pause it one more time. So I had to cancel it today. And I don't know, BetterHelp has assured me that I should have no problem getting replaced with Jilly when I do come back, when this out of town work is done, which I think will be at the end of this month. I'll be heading back to the city. So, But yes, this genuinely could not have come at a worse fucking time because I'm like, okay, we are having a crisis here about April, and I had to cancel therapy. So lucky me. And it's not a crisis. I'm just being drunk and funny, and I'm not even drunk. Carl, settle down. But I did, yeah. Today was kind of a fucking write off, right? Like everybody's sick, nobody wants to be there, everybody's dragging ass. We're all a 1 out of 10. So Caillou and I just kind of naturally got to chatting about a lot of this shit, and again, he continues to just give the worst possible advice, where he's like, unblock her and say you're sorry. I'm like, I am not the one who needs to apologize first. She needs to fucking apologize to me, which she has repeatedly. That was the last message she sent me. She was apologizing for something. But at the same time, I was like, this is very oddly timed. Why are you sending me this? And why are you apologizing? What are you apologizing for? Because this is very generic. So is there something specific or what? Like, I can't help but be suspicious when this text comes on the heels of a podcast talking about how happy I am with this new person I've met. So I don't know. I've kind of just really realized that, I can't blame her that for her timing when she comes back into my life, because we don't know if she listens to the podcast, and I don't think she is that kind of malicious person, but like this is all a lot of most of it's on me. It's just me and my silly little brain, and I can't. We talked about it yesterday. I just cannot keep moving and grooving here. So I've kind of sort of maybe come to the realization that, like, well, we probably should stop dating then. And this is not the first time I've said this. This is not the first time you guys have heard this. And it's, oh, fuck. Here we go. Mute time. Sorry, guys. Oh, this sickness is going to kill us all. It's all right. Rum and Cokes are keeping me lubricated. Yeah, like, this is not the first time you guys have heard this, honestly. This is not the first time I've said this. Like, well, I just got to quit dating because I'm just not over April, so I got to quit fucking dating. Well, we do that, and then it never lasts because your boy's a big brooder, and I'm like, okay, well, I kind of miss the chase, honestly, and April's not coming back, and, fuck it, let's get back on the apps, so. And I don't know, Caillou had some salient points today where he was like, you're just going to end up trapped in this cycle. And I was like, bro, do you think you're telling me anything that I don't already know? Like, I talked about this on the show last night. I just currently am just kind of trapped in this like endless cycle of like, I meet a new person. I like a new person. Things are going well. Then the moment comes where I'm like, oh, well, you're not April. Like, you're great. And you're going to make somebody very happy one day, but you're not April. And then it's all downhill from there. So Caillou is not wrong. I am kind of in a fucking just endless cycle of this shit right now because that thought never fails to rear its little ugly head and say to me like, well, you sure about that? You sure about that? You sure you're ready to fucking move on? And the answer is always fucking no. So, yeah, but there's the thing like, oh, I don't want to be alone. Nobody wants to be alone. Who the fuck wants to be alone? Like, okay, well, I like being alone. I like my own company and shit, but like, who wants to be alone all the time? It's very nice to have. Okay, well, this is not something I need to explain to you guys, but I'm assuming there are no children listening to this. If there are, tell your parents they're bad at being parents and what the fuck is wrong with them. And you say that verbatim. Go up to your parents and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? And let me know how that works out for you. dumbereveryday42@gmail.com. But yes, Caillou has drilled down to everything that I know. Like, This is not a surprise to me. This is not some shocking revelation where I'm like, oh my God, you're right. I never will move on. Like, no, I know, man. I spend a lot of fucking time in my head thinking about this and thinking about her and just, thinking in general. I have a lot of time during the day to be a navel gazer because I don't know, my job has, especially this job, like it's such basic shit. Like I don't really need to have my brain fully engaged half the time because I can just do a lot of this stuff with my eyes closed. So I end up with a lot of free time to just kind of be zoning out and letting my mind wander, which is dangerous for everybody involved. But yeah, and on the one hand, Caillou is a little bit right because he's like, you need to message her. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fucking message her, man. Like that's just desperate. And at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, what was the last thing you said to her? I need a fucking break from you. Blah. So why the fuck would she message me first? And like me wanting her to send me an email and shit is just me assuming, hoping that she still listens to the podcast and will hear this and be like, oh, he wants to hear from me. No, she probably is like, oh, what a pathetic fucking dork. But, and that's fine. Like, I don't know what to do about this because I want to talk to her and it's like a leap of faith kind of thing, right? Where it's like, okay, well, I want to talk to you. I don't know how you feel and I don't know how I feel about that because and honestly, I feel like me saying the words I feel to April are like her fucking trigger words. So maybe I should say them less, but yeah, it's just kind of that like the coward in me coming out and I'm scared of the response. And like if she messages me, then she can set the tone and that kind of will let me know how I can respond and where her head's at kind of because yeah, we're not going to get back into that. But Caillou is right. Like until I make a conscious decision to move on from her or just bite the bullet and message her like nothing's gonna change. I'm just gonna keep tearing this path of destruction through all these poor women who just think I'm cute. Like, goddamn. Imagine the worst fucking, and I'm not the worst thing that'll ever happen to these girls. Fuck no, I'm not. But like, I'm sure these girls didn't get on the dating apps looking for a fucking lesson, which is what I seem to be for some of them. So, yeah, I don't know. And then there's the little part of me that's like, well, she won't reach out because I'm like seeing somebody. But if I was single, would she reach out? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, it's just such a mess in my head, you guys. Like, I just, it's, it's insane to me. I know I sound insane. I know that this is fucking nuts. That and how many fucking episodes have we spent talking about this? How fucking Looney Tunes it is that I'm still hung up on her. And it's been longer that we've been apart than we were together. Like, what the fuck, man? And I told the Frenchman today, I was like, oh, you listen to the podcast. Perfect. You're going to love the episode I posted today because it's fucking mostly about April. And this poor fucking guy, like, I know exactly what he thinks and what he would say to me if he had, if he had half the chance, he would look at me and remind me, like, hey, man, do you not remember that lunch we went out to together and you told me how she was treating you and the fury in my eyes and the rage I felt? Like, why would you? And it's the question I ask myself, right? Like, why would you want to go back to that? And it's because I believe it could be different. I believe that the way it was at the last month there is not how it would always be. I think that was a result of me being insane and her going through some life shit that was really kicking her in the ass. And like, that is not the way it would be all the time. I really choose to believe that it would be more like it was when we got together. And like, obviously that fades. The honeymoon phase can't last forever, as much as we all wish it could. But that I feel like that could have settled into a very, very comfortable routine. And listen to me dreaming on the podcast. What a fucking silly goof I am. So yeah, Kai, and Kai's just fascinated by this. He just wants me to shit or get off the pot. He wants me to do something so there's an update to this beyond me being there, being like, oh, I'm sad. I miss April, man. Fuck. And honestly, I do too. Because, I don't know. I just don't. I do know. I know what I have to do. And I don't want to do it. Because I am a baby back bitch. Honestly. Let's be real with ourselves here. Yes. This is the cowardice in me talking. And right now, she's like Schrodinger's ex, right? She could be mad. She could not be mad. We don't know because it kind of exists in both ways. So, fucking goddamn it. Another fucking 20 minutes about April. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? God fuck. I cannot figure out why this has affected me like this. And what did Caillou say today? He looked at me and he's like, man, it really sounds like you fucking loved her. And I was like, I like to think I did and maybe still do, but like at the same time, it was only 3 weeks. Can you really? And this is like every coming of age movie where the parents are like, you can't be in love. You're only 15. You don't know me, Dad. But, oh, fuck. Just absolute. Yeah, there it is. But yeah, and I asked myself that too. Like, I'm a grown man. I am not ignorant to the ways of the world and kind of how I'm not ignorant to who I am and how my mind works, right? So I can't. There's a part of me that's like, well, can you really love her? Did you really love her? Like, who? It was only fucking 2 months. Like, but I don't know. Maybe Caillou's onto something here. Fuck knows. I don't know. I guess I just kind of need to like distract Caillou with Spaghetti's dating adventures and say, no, go fucking bother Spaghetti, because I don't know. Spaghetti has decided that in his infinite wisdom, the right bird for him is some super, super Catholic girl from a city we don't live in, but it's like still within our province. It's not an outrageous drive to date somebody in this place, but he told me today, fucking hotel ice. He's like, oh yeah, she's super Catholic. I was like, bro, that means like no wristies on the D floor, right? Like you're going to hold hands and leave room for Jesus doing that. And he was fine with it. So I guess not everyone is a fucking absolute degen like me, but I don't know. Good for Spaghetti if he can make it work. He's a man re-entering the dating field after many years of like chosen solitude. So we were wishing him all the best and hoping that he does meet a nice señorita who will take care of him, because Spaghetti's a nice guy and he deserves to meet a nice little lady who will be his little partner. So Godspeed, Spaghetti, and may you find love in all the wrong places or right places. Don't find love in the wrong places. Don't be like me. Because besides April, it's all been the wrong places. And even fuck. I really just want to word vomit about this. And like, I haven't been for 24 minutes here, but like, there's so much more I could say. And there's so much more that's like on my mind about this. That's just, I feel like is probably just for her only. And I'm not going to throw it on the podcast just for the whole world to hear, because that would cheapen it. And she wouldn't believe me then when I told her if I told her. So we are just choosing to make a mess of things, and the mess just keeps getting bigger. And I can see off in the distance Consequence Mountain getting larger and larger and larger as I barrel towards it out of control. And that's a fun little game to play, going, when will I blindside the side of this mountain and have all the consequences come crashing down on me that I have thought I've gotten away with? Because it's coming. Like, this has all gone a little too well with some of these birds and some of my exits, and some of the ways I've ended things, like this has all been fairly drama free. So something bad has to happen soon, obviously. Like I can't just keep getting away with this shit. It doesn't seem real. That's not the thing that happens to anybody. But I don't know. This whole situation with the new girl is definitely like banked consequences. Like something will come of this. This action will have consequences, but it's a matter of like how bad they will be. Oh man. You know what, y'all? Let's take a little break here because the drink is empty. I need a cigarette and I need time to collect my thoughts here. And what are we going to talk about? Because I don't want to spend this whole fucking episode talking about April again, even though we're more than halfway through. But like, God damn it. This is exactly what I thought was going to happen when I sit down and hit record. And like, it's much later than I normally would record at. It's 10 to 9. I have to go to bed in 10 minutes. That's not going to happen. But, oh, my posture is so fucking bad doing the podcast out here sitting in the cuck chair. But, yeah, we'll take a little breaky break. Let me collect my thoughts here. Breaky break, that was just for you, Carl. And we will be back real shortly. Break begins in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we're back. That was a lovely break. That was not a very long break, but I really just like playing with the sound effects and throwing the chimes in. So, oh fuck, here we go. Mute button right off the gate. All right. So, what else can we talk about? So we're not just, this whole thing isn't all about April, for fuck's sake. You know, and I had some thoughts actually when I was out smoking a cigarette, getting yelled at by drunk homeless people, but we love the little town we're in. What a treat. Yeah, I did have some thoughts, but I feel like they're a little too real and too honest and too raw for the podcast. So maybe I will keep those to myself like a fucking adult and we will move on to other topics. So my company's Christmas party is this weekend and I was joking with the boys today, like, you know, maybe I'll just fucking record an episode of the podcast and be like, you know, the Christmas party is this weekend at this place, at this restaurant from this time to this time. And if anybody wanted to show up, wouldn't that just be a fucking treat? I will not be doing that. I'm not doxing myself, but totally unrelated. The boys have also become absolutely fascinated with the idea of me bringing Carl to this thing, which, like, fucking explain yourselves. Because Carl, I'm pretty sure, is very upset with me right now. Very mad at me. Just judging by the brief messages we exchanged today. But fucking hotel ice. Spaghetti had the right idea. I got to bring an ice cube tray up next week with me. Fuck's sake. Fuck. Mute again. I'm sorry, guys. My nose just does not want to play nice tonight. And my throat. I'm gonna fully lose my voice. He said, recording a 45-minute podcast like a fucking asshole. Yeah, the boys are just like fascinated with the idea of Carl coming with me to the Christmas party. Like, notwithstanding that I've already RSVP'd to this thing and could not just randomly show up with some bird on my arm, let alone someone like Carl. Like, and I'm also not going to subject Carl to every fucking dude I work with who are all a bunch of fucking degenerates. So it's a fun thought experiment to be like, would Carl come to my Christmas party with me? But at the same time, like, it's an open bar. I'm obviously going to get absolutely shit-faced with the Frenchman. And we were talking about this today. His glizziness Cockster Rizlord III will be there. My sweet, sweet son. I miss him so much. He will be getting a large open mouth kiss placed immediately upon his soft lips as soon as he walks in the bar. But oh man, if you don't know me, you think I was real gay for this kid. I'm not. But on the flip side of that coin, as happy as we are going to be to see the Rizlord, Young Buck will also be in attendance. And none of us have any fucking desire to see Young Buck. Time away from this child has made me realize how much I genuinely just like don't like him and just really only tolerated him for the Frenchman's sake. So yeah, I am very much not looking forward to watching the fucking Young Buck latch on to the Frenchman like a barnacle and just ruin my fucking whole night by just being there the whole time and talking about all he's learned in school and what a fucking genius he is now, blah, 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 because he's been through third year. Like, grow up, child. You're a fucking idiot still. And you will probably remain an idiot your entire fucking life. So just throwing that out there. And who knows, this year might be a little unhinged because this is the first Christmas party in 10 years. I guess I wasn't with January when I was like the first one, but this is the first Christmas party in like fucking 8 or 9 years where I'm rolling solo. Because usually I had January to rein me in and tell me when I was too drunk and being too aggressive. But also at the same time, I'm a professional drinker now. So this will be interesting, right? Because I'm rolling solo. And I think the Frenchman is too. I think the Frenchman's wife will not be in attendance and will be staying home with the boys. So who knows? This is a very dangerous precedent to set. The Frenchman and I, unsupervised, getting absolutely shit-faced together. So what a treat. What a fucking treat that's going to be. And then the next weekend, so like this weekend coming up is a fucking mess because like drive back to the city on Friday. And I can't get too crazy because I have like a church thing on Saturday morning. I'm volunteering for a men's conference that I went through last year. And I found very helpful. So I figured I'd pay it forward and, volunteer for the next go around for it. And that time has come and it's time to pay the piper. So I have to be on my best behavior on Friday night and be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on Saturday morning for this men's conference because I really want to do a good job because it like is a very important thing and these guys deserve 100%, these guys and girls, but they deserve 100% from all the volunteers. So I don't want to be showing up hungover or fucked up or anything. So yeah, I not a lot of tomfoolery allowed to happen on Friday night, but so in the morning I have this men's conference and it's also like a women's conference, but my half of it I just choose to think of it as like a men's conference. And then that goes until about 3:00, and then I'll go home and kind of lounge around for a little bit, and then it'll be time to head on down to the fucking venue and dig into the piss provided by my company, Open Bar. Hell yeah, hallelujah. And then who knows how late that'll go, right? And then I got Sunday to recover, and I didn't go to church last week because I was fucking so sick, and I didn't want to turn it into a super spreader thing. So we'll see if I drag my drunken ass back to church on Sunday this week. But knowing that the company Christmas party is this week, I decided, you know what? We're going to finally do what we've always said we're going to do for the last 10 fucking years. We're going to take the Monday after the Christmas party off. So we can have a full weekend and we can fully recover from an open bar, which is very dangerous. And we'll just see what's what in the butt about that. So I get a nice little 3-day weekend here. But the following weekend is the Frenchman's Christmas party, which will be less rowdy for me because I won't be drinking. Because like I've mentioned in way earlier episodes, like the Frenchman lives about 40 minutes from me. So 40 minutes, depending on road conditions and traffic. So I'm not willing to pay for that Uber. And yeah, I will be staying stone sober, but I'm very much looking forward to that because like I love the Frenchman and his family and that group of guys that I think is going to be out there for that. So it'll be a lot lower key and a lot more not so fake because I kind of have to be the fake dude when I'm at the company Christmas party, because I'm like, I don't hate, but I don't like the majority of you. And like, if I had my way, I would not be spending any of my very valuable free time with fucking any of you. But I have to be here. I have to make an appearance because my father is part owner of the company. So not showing up is not an option for me. So I don't know. Last year was a fuck show, and I don't know. I left early, and then yeah, I don't know. So, but the open bar is always nice, and the food is always a treat. So, but yes, I don't. As fun as it would be to take Carl and watch her get increasingly angry at me as I took advantage of this open bar, I will not be doing that. We'll be rolling solo this year. But what the fuck was the other thing I wanted to talk about on here? I genuinely cannot remember. We are drawing a blank, guys. Maybe if I grab my phone and stare at it. No, just a message from the new girl, which that is its whole. It's no, there it is. Hello, fifth drink. You have brought the party. Yeah, the new girl. That's its own can of worms, a little bit, honestly. I am gonna pay the consequences for this one, I think. Yeah. And again, like, this circles back to April, but we will not bring it back there. So, what else is going on? The Devastator Jr. has finally managed to secure the bag. He is going to take down one of the front desk girls at the hotel we're staying at, and she's a cutie patootie from what I've seen. So good for the Devastator Jr. Get in there, get your dick wet, get down with your bad self. Very, very pleased with you, my son. While Caillou, Spaghetti, and I live fucking vicariously through you. Oh, that was the other thing. Fucking Spaghetti's new nickname apparently is the Rizzard, because like my son is Cuckster. His glizziness, Cuckster Rizzler the Third. So Spaghetti just had to have a fun nickname now that he's back dating and being a fucking degenerate with the rest of us. So he is now affectionately known as the Rizzard. And at least once a day, I walk by him and go, "You're a Rizzard, Harry." So mute real quick, guys. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I really I knew I was going to talk about April on this one because obviously she's on the brain. I did that whole episode last night, and then like before I sat down to record, like I was thinking about her and I was listening to Sleep Token, and we all know how that goes. So I don't know. I have a lot more to say on this that I will not say on the podcast because, and it really, really seems like I've kind of just spilled my guts and poured my heart out here and said everything I could possibly say, and I haven't. There's more, and I just choose to keep it to myself because it is for her and I, and that's that about that. So, and I remember the other thing I want to talk about right at the end of the episode where no one will hear it, but whatever. It's something that is pissing me the fuck off. So getting the Roadcaster now has been such a blessing, but also a little bit of a curse because, as you all know, I do the majority of my workflow for the podcast through the iPad. Well, we are now running into GarageBand for iPad limitations very aggressively because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the last few episodes have been right around that 55, 56, 57, 58 mark. And that is fucking pushing my luck, honestly, because GarageBand cannot accept an audio file longer than 64 minutes. So even last night when I said we're running out of time here, like that is what I'm talking about, is that I don't know what'll happen if I try and import an audio file into GarageBand that's longer than 64 minutes. So we've kind of been exploring some alternatives tonight. And from what I've seen, your options are fairly fucking limited on the iPad unless you want to shell out a bunch of fucking money. So I've kind of settled on Fairlight, but it has the same limitation as GarageBand in that for the free version, you can only record and import up to 1 hour, audio files, but if you upgrade, then that's kind of, that limitation is removed, and you can import and record for as long as your heart desires. But for me, it's more about taking these ginormous fucking lossless files that the Rodecaster spits out and just mixing them down into oh, for fuck's sake, mute again, so sorry. Mixing them down into a more usable size and as an MP3 that I can upload into Spotify and stuff, because there's no way I'm trying to transfer over like a gigabyte size file when I could just mix it down in GarageBand and have something much more manageable. So I really just need some software that works on the iPad that will let me take this raw lossless file from the Rodecaster and let me mix it down as an MP3 and export it. So kind of Googling around, I haven't really found that much, which this is the intrusive thought, is like, okay, well, there's nothing. It's time to buy it's time to buy a fucking MacBook Pro, which I will not be doing. Don't worry, guys. But we're just gonna find a workaround. But like Ferrite, the full version is $40. Which it's kind of like that thing where it's like, okay, well, the Rodecaster was $700. This is no problem, but $5 for a Starbucks coffee, you must be out of your fucking mind. So I don't know. I got to get on Reddit and solicit some opinions, because my Googling really yielded fucking nothing tonight, which was super helpful. But if anybody is listening to this and they know the answer to this solution, because I really don't think there's a way to like cheat around this time limitation in GarageBand. I think you're just kind of, it's a hard limit, coded into the fucking program, and you're fucked if you go over 64 minutes. So some of these could have gone longer, and I reined them in because I knew that I was going to bump up against that limit. So if I could find a workable solution on the iPad, especially since like this doesn't matter so much when I'm at home, right? Because I can just plug the Rodecaster into the computer, and then Rode Connect software, I can export it through that, and then that works nicely. But for whatever reason, the Rodecaster is not recognized in the iPad version of the Rode Connect software. So we need some kind of travel workaround while we're doing this. And like the cheap logical answer is like, well, just keep the podcast under 64 minutes while you're on the road. But I don't really like to do things by the logical, smart way to do things. I'd rather do it the most difficult fucking way possible, and apparently the most expensive way possible. So I don't know. I'm looking at a couple like DAW softwares like DAW and Ferrite and some of these other apps, because like Reaper doesn't have an iPad app, and they're really, this is a hard fucking limit in GarageBand that there's no way around. So if anybody out there has a solution, I am going to post to Reddit, but if you have an answer, you can get in touch with me at dumbereveryday42@gmail.com. Comes right to my phone, so I'll see it right away. And that technical cry for help aside, I think we are going to call this episode here. Another one that's kind of a fucking mess, which is what happens when I sit down without a script and just a glass of rum and coke. But still, again, we managed to turn it into a fucking episode, so I must be doing something right. Not according to Carl, though, if you ask her. But usual end of the episode housekeeping stuff. If you go to the episode page on Spotify and scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see a Q&A box, and it'll say something along the lines of, what did you think of this episode? It says that because I'm too fucking lazy to change it. If I don't know, I don't really have a specific request anymore. So you can throw your whatever thoughts, criticisms, comments, concerns, questions in there and fire it off to me. No guarantee that I will see it in a timely manner, though, because I am so brutal for forgetting to check those. If you have something that you would like me to see and or address on the show, your best bet is to send an email to dumbereveryday42@gmail.com, and that comes right to my phone. I'll see it right away. And you can send all your criticisms, comments, concerns, and questions over to there. Please try and keep it friendly. I don't need a bunch of emails of people telling me to fucking kill myself. And the podcast is also on YouTube and YouTube Music. I'll throw the links in the fucking show notes if I remember. And you know what, guys? Other than that, not a bad episode. I hope you all are having a great morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. And I will catch you, mob, in the next episode. Hooroo.